I'm like, I love kids and kids love me, and I know if we get together, he gonna love me too.
Right.
Everything gonna be fine. Won't be no problem. Won't be no issues.
Yeah.
So let's go forward with this marriage. We ran into some bumps and some bruises and some tough times when it comes to blending those families together, because we ended up having 2 of our own kids. So today we're gonna talk about some do's and don'ts when it comes to blended families.
So welcome back to The Battle We Must Win. I am Tiffany Bustle. This is Rodney Bustle. We are also the authors of The Battle We Must Win. Continue to like us, subscribe, and share. So like Rodney said, today we're going to be talking about blended families, do's and don'ts. Man, what a better way to learn from our own mistakes. I already had a son, and because we were so in love, we didn't really take the time to prepare ourselves on what that looks like. So one of the things that we should have done, or what we would encourage you all to do, is if you're thinking about getting married and you already have children or a child, get some pre-counseling going, and not only for the 2 of you in regards to marriage, but make sure that is included in the marriage, the fact that you have children and what that looks like long term.
When you talk to people, sometimes they'll say, well, he or she doesn't call me step. I don't consider them step. We were there too, and I still don't to this day. Love him like he's my own. But there were some times we had some rough moments. We wanted to just make it just one family as a whole. We didn't want one person to feel left out.
Right.
So our second point would be don't have favorites.
Right.
So again, we mentioned that we had 2 other kids. So for me, having my first, I'm excited.
Right.
So I'm really like, this is my first child. It's a boy. He's gonna play football, he's gonna play basketball, he's gonna do this, he's gonna be this Christian kid, so you're excited, you're pouring on to that. If it come across that way, sometimes I try to be, talk to myself and not play that game, because I didn't want him to feel like, now you got your son here, now you're gonna treat me differently, so be careful of doing that, because kids are intuitive, they're observant, and they have their feelings and emotions too.
Yeah. I know there was a time where things kind of got rough during my oldest child's teenage years. Things between Rodney and I just started getting pretty rough. Loss of communication, and to be honest with you, I was so focused and consumed with the things that was going on with my oldest child that I failed to really concentrate on the others. You could easily fall into that trap. So I wouldn't say favorite, but I definitely felt like at that time I was putting more effort and attention to one child over the others. To our second point of showing favorites, don't do that. All right, so 3, I would say, make sure that we are setting some expectations around the board with our kids, especially, age appropriate expectations. Naturally, if they're too young, or if they're 2 years old or 1 year, they're not understanding what's going on. But when they become of age, we should have set some parameters, some expectations around, what to expect. I mean, I don't think that we've ever really done that, along with talking to his father of what we expect. We should have all been in the room together, just having this tough conversation. Hey, this is how we're raising our child. We ask that you respect that, or, come to some agreement on how we're going to raise this child together, so there's no division. Because that's the problem. Things weren't being discussed as a whole. It was therefore there were loopholes there.
Everyone strives better with expectations.
Sure, yeah.
So it's good to have expectations.
Yeah, and he needed to see that we were on one page. I don't think he saw that we were on one page because I didn't allow. We were in the same book, never in the same room when we were having these conversations. So it's important that we set those expectations early.
All right, that's good. Our fourth point, not allowing those outside voices, to help parents. That was one thing that was hazardous to us because there were some outside voices given in your ear mostly about, it's not his son. He ain't got to do this. That's not his son. He shouldn't have to do this. After hearing that after a while, you might be like, you know what? You're right.
You might have a point. I mean, yeah.
You're right. When I think about those kind of things, I think about just as a Christian walk. When we are trying to grow as Christians as a whole, we need to continue blocking out influences. You're trying to get directions, and then people start talking to you, or the radio starts going. So you have to cut down the radio and focus just on directions. You got to turn something out.
Yeah, that's
true.
You
got to tune out something in order to focus
concentrate
on that direction. Like I need to focus. I need to focus.
Right.
I got somewhere I'm trying to go.
Right.
And so as parents, I got somewhere I need to go. I got a child I need to raise. I got a family I need to nurture and love.
Right.
So I need to block out this outside distraction because we have a journey that we're trying to go on.
Right.
You can join us on this journey if you want to, but this is our journey.
Our journey.
I'm not going to let you dictate our journey.
So that leads us to our fifth point, and that is just surrendering trust to that spouse that happens to be the unbiological parent. It's something that I failed at, Like I said before, we learn from our mistakes, right? So now that I look back, I should have trusted my husband more in that area. Right off the bat, I started seeing him making changes in his voice and his tone to make sure that, he gains respect and to show that, to demonstrate authority in the household, good godly authority. It wasn't anything mean or nasty. He was doing the right thing. I felt like I needed to be the head when it came to my son. It's like I didn't allow him to be the man and the father that, he was going to be in the household. I didn't surrender that trust. And I encourage those that are out there, whether it's the man that has the children or the woman that has the children before you get married, to make sure that, when you are loving your spouse, let them be who they're going to be to your children. I mean, you said I do, and you're gonna have to surrender that trust over to that spouse, because we're in this together. We are raising this child together, and thank you for forgiving me in that area. It's not easy letting go, especially when you've had a child and
you think about the marriage itself, and when you said that you do to me, I know I had to say I do to you and I do to him. What I mean? Yeah. But also, when you think about this last point that you're making about surrendering trust, you surrendered trust for you as a female. You trusted me to love you. You trusted me to protect you.
Right.
You trusted me to provide for you.
Right.
But how hypocritical is it for you to trust me, but you can't trust me with the child?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not coming at you, but I'm just saying that as a spouse, a lot of times we will do that. I trust you with me.
Right.
I trust you to love me. I'm giving you me. I'm giving you all of me, but not him.
Right. Yeah.
It creates that wall of separation that sometimes it's hard to tear back down. Yeah. People get hurt.
Yeah.
You go into it as a man, you go into it expectations. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to really look out for him. And then that happens, kind of like deflating.
Yeah.
So, but be careful doing that. And if we think about kind of a scripture that goes with that is, Psalm 127:4, like arrows in the hand of a warrior, so are the children of one's youth. So as we have these kids. It doesn't say biological kids. It say these kids. You know, so these arrows are these kids.
Yeah.
It's not the arrows that the craftsman whittled. It could have been arrows that was given to him from some other craftsman.
Right.
You know, so it doesn't matter. But if you have a particular arrow in your quiver, you take care of that arrow that's in your quiver. And so we just wanted to share some blended family do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
We can save you guys some headaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
would like to hear. You know, I would like to hear whoever's listening. Share some of your mistakes or some do's and some don'ts. I know, you know, there are people out there that are experiencing blended families. We'd like to hear what you say, what you got to say on that, some of your thoughts, some of your experiences. And again, as always, we'd love for you to like, share with some friends and family, subscribe. Also, don't forget our book, The Battle We Must Win. If you have not purchased your copy, please get it, y'all. It's a great book. People all over the place are sharing the book, loving the book, and really receiving the things that, you know, they should be getting out of it. We'll see you next week. And as always, the battle continues.